Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are my snipers doing today? I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Listen up, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are talking about the one and only Turbo. Boys and girls, listen, next video and onwards, we'll be having Basecamp back and absolutely everything like that the way we used to. Finally, things are getting set up in the office. Once again, we had some technical difficulties, some delays, and you know the video after this will you will see me once again. For those that do care, for those that don't, I guess nothing has changed. Listen, right? There's a turbo giveaway happening, so if you do want to enter it, I highly recommend going on Twitter, going on the Groove Exchange, and entering, doing what you have to do to potentially win. Right? Someone does have to win, and you never know if that could be you. There are no new updates in terms of turbo, ladies and gentlemen, but I do want to make some comparisons today, and I do want to go over the charts because we have dumped in price over the last 24 hours, just like I was talking about, right? We did mention yesterday that there was going to be a dump that happened because I expected, Bitcoin to come back down to at least the 92K area mark, which obviously means Turbo was going to see, some red price action, which is normal. I mean, the whole market literally is seeing red price action, right? So we can see that turbo has dropped back down, but it is still, relatively in the area that we have talked about previously, right? It's a fantastic time to be buying. I don't think it will get much cheaper than this, ladies and gentlemen. The worst case scenario I see is that this gets swept before a reversal happens. I know some people are very, very, scared, and they're not so optimistic the way I am. But, I'm going based off history. I'm going based off context of the markets. I'm going based off the fact that I am banking that the institutions and everybody knows that this is probably going to be the biggest bull run ever, right? Next time around, there's going to be a lot more regulations. It's not going to be as easy in terms of making gains, whether it's through taxes, whether it's through whatever. And institutions know that. Every time we see a big red day like this, there's tons of liquidity wiped out in the last hour. We're talking about hundreds of millions, billions, lots and lots of money gets wiped out in just a short amount of time every time there is a dip. So, they want to shake us out as many times as they possibly can before the pump happens. Look, I personally do believe the pump will happen right when I go to something like this. Bitcoin right now is not showing me any signs of reversal based off this price action, right? But that doesn't mean that we can't get a little bit more of a pullback, for example, down to, let's just say here, then have a spike, right? See a spike, break of structure, hold, and then continue going up. If that does not happen, ladies and gentlemen, unless we do go a little bit lower, the maximum I expect it to go is, like I said, this low to be swept and then instantly kind of reversed. Okay. That is the maximum I expect for Bitcoin to drop, is to below $89,000. That is like the maximum, maximum. And if that were to happen, ladies and gentlemen, right, we would be dropping down a couple percent, 3%. Something like Turbo could be seeing like another 6% decrease. And if that were the case, right, we take this ruler, we go down a couple percent. Yeah, like I said, we could sweep possibly these lows, but that is the maximum I see it. Ladies and gentlemen, there is some good news, right? If we go to the holders, we could actually see that even though, right, even though there has been a big red day, we haven't dropped off in followers at all, right? From Sunday to Monday we went up, roughly almost 20 followers, and then we've held so far the same amount regardless of it being red. So people are still optimistic, people are still buying turbo, people are still holding their bags because they believe in this coin. Well, some people also have no choice. Some people are down, which unfortunately, that does suck, right? Some of my positions are down, but that's okay because I still believe in the bigger picture. And guys, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, if let's say everything were to go to zero, yeah, I would be sad. I would be, upset. But the reality is, ladies and gentlemen, that I know how to trade, right? Trading is my main thing. And even though I've said this before and I say it again that, 98, 99% of my wealth is in crypto, you know, the ability to trade, really gives me confidence, okay, to ever bounce back in life. So, now to make this about you guys, you got to think about the same thing, right? Do I have the skill sets to bounce back from my position if crypto were to go to zero today? And the answer should be yes or very high probability. If that is not the case, then, I would start figuring out a plan just in case things were to go to zero. Now, I'm not saying the will. I'm not saying the will. I'm just saying that, my mindset is kind of ride or die. And in the events that we do one in a billion die, then it is what it is. However, my bias still has not changed. I still believe that we will recover. In for us to get lots of confirmation, it has to be Bitcoin and Turbo, obviously, doing what it has to do. But ladies and gentlemen, we would have to break above at least this structure over here, retest somewhere into these areas like this, and then continue going up higher for us to see bullish confirmation. Now, I will say this is going to be a very, very important week. And so next week, right, we are on the last week when it comes to, the February candle, which means the monthly candle is going to close soon. So we can see overall momentum has been slowing down. I did expect some type of pullback, and we are getting that, right? We are getting that. When you see this video, it will be Tuesday. So we will be seeing how price reacts. How this candle closes is going to be very important because it also dictates how the monthly candle closes. We do want a nice close. I would say generally above 0.0035 is where I would like to see it close, which I think it could recover, right? Right now, everything is bearish. 2 days later, we could be back at break even. And then one day later, we could be a little bit higher. So we have to see how everything closes. That is what I'm mainly waiting for when it comes to the whole entire crypto market. But, ladies and gentlemen, once we do start recovering, because I believe we will, we have so much imbalance that we should just kind of start shooting up and recovering quickly to 0.0075 area, right? That is where I believe we will really start to slow down once we pick up very quickly. But that's okay because there's a big, big resistance here, right? We can see it that there's a huge support and resistance. And even though it would kind of create a double, like head and shoulders, because of the context of the market, I do believe Turbo has, more life in it. Worst case scenario, which I still don't believe would happen just because simply of market cap and where I believe altcoin season will go this cycle, right? Worst case scenario, we would probably top out roughly, uh, let's see, over here. By the time we start recovering, do something like this, probably I'm a little too far, but worst case scenario, we should go to 2 cents, which I mean, anybody watching this video should be making some type of money, even if you bought at the literal top. Worst, absolute worst case scenario. I believe you should still be making like 40% on your money, right? And that's only if we wouldn't break this structure, hold, and continue going up higher, right? I'm giving literally the most poo scenario. I don't think, ladies and gentlemen, that we will be crashing further down. My bias has not changed. We've talked about this multiple times, and I am getting ready for the future. One, actually, a couple last things I did want to say is that we can see the market cap has gone down 12%. And if we actually go and look and compare to other coins, right? Go to memes, go to some of the big ones, we can see over the last 24 hours that, bigger coins like Trump coin have fallen more. Something like Pepe, which is also really big, has fallen a similar amount, right? Turbo has only fallen 12.5%. Some of these other coins are going down drastically. GigaChat 13%, uh, Peanut the Squirrel also 12.5. Some of these coins are getting a little bit more shredded than we are. So that is a very, very good sign. Goat, we've talked about Goat previously, right? 20% shredded. Ponky is doing pretty good, 7%. Sometimes these numbers are a little bait. They are a little bait because depending on when they update just and the other stuff. But we can see we're holding very, very nice, right? In terms of the loss, we are doing pretty good. Even though Brett's up 4% in the last hour, it's still down 14% in 24 hours. So look at that. Pengu also. So, do not worry. Do not worry. You know, we talked about this before and we've talked about it again in the future. But we expect this moment, right? We expect this moment. Something like Toshi, which I haven't covered on my channel for some time, isn't as eh, prime buying opportunity in my opinion. We talked about it going down to roughly 200 million market cap. So if you're a Toshi fan or you want to get more, also a good time to buy that coin. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is pretty much it. We got to see how this week closes. That obviously we want to see a nice recovery mid to late week, but this weekly candle is very, very important as it does close the monthly candle as well. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Goodbye.